This lecture is about sentence types and sentence variety. There are 4 types and 4 varieties of sentences in the English language. For types, there's declarative, imperative or command, interrogative or question, and exclamatory. The varieties are simple, compound or coordination, complex or subordination, and the compound complex sentence. Basic sentence structure. What is a sentence? A sentence is the expression of a thought, usually consisting of a subject and a predicate. The subject is the person or thing being discussed. The predicate contains the verb. In the example sentence, you'll see the saints won, period. Saints is the subject. Won is the predicate verb. This is an example of a basic sentence. For declarative sentences, they're the most commonly used. They state information. They end with a period. Examples: she walked to the restaurant, period. She ate the daily special, period. Another type of sentence is the imperative. These sentences give a command or a request. Example: bring me a pillow, period. Don't forget to call your mother, period. These sentences are missing a subject, as the subject is understood to be you or the person to whom the speaker is commanding. Another type of sentence is the interrogative. These sentences ask a question. The following are examples. Did you call your mother? Question mark. Can you bring your book to class? Question mark. The final type of sentence is the exclamatory. These sentences express emotion and can use an exclamation point. Example: you are going to be grounded! Exclamation point. Make sure you catch the ball! Exclamation point. You'll notice in these sentences the emphasis with the exclamation mark make them exclamatory. Along with types of sentences are varieties of sentences. There's the simple sentence. A simple sentence contains one subject and one verb. Example: the Saints won the game, period. Drew Brees received the MVP award, period. In both of these sentences, there's only one subject and one verb. The first example, Saints is the subject, won is the verb. The second example, Drew Brees is the subject, received is the verb. Another type of sentence is the compound sentence. A compound sentence combines 2 or more sentences using a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Those conjunctions are the following words: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. These words are also known as fanboys, which is the acronym for those words. Let's combine the 2 simple sentences into one compound sentence. The Saints won the game, comma, and Drew Brees received the MVP award. In this sentence, you will notice the comma plus the fanboy and replace the period, thus combining the sentence into a compound sentence. Another way to create a compound sentence is to use a semicolon, drop the period, with or without a transitional word or phrase. Let's look at those same 2 sentences. The Saints won the game, semicolon, Drew Brees received the MVP award. Or, the Saints won the game, semicolon. In addition, Drew Brees received the MVP award. You'll notice both of those dropped the end punctuation period and added the semicolon. If you want to combine two sentences using compound, they have to be similar or connecting to each other. These two sentences are perfect examples of using compound sentences to combine. The third variety is the complex sentence. A complex sentence combines two or more sentences using subordinating conjunctions. Depending on where the subordinating conjunction is in the sentence may also contain a comma. Common subordinating conjunctions are the following words: since, because, although, when, while, even though. Let's look at those two simple sentences from previous and combine them into complex sentence. You have two options. The dependent clause can go first. The independent clause can go first. Let's look at the first example with the dependent clause. After the Saints won the game, comma, Drew Brees received the MVP award. For this sentence, the subordinating conjunction is after, and it's been connected to the beginning of the sentence, creating a dependent clause first. In this instance, a comma separates the dependent clause from the independent clause. The second example, Drew Brees received the MVP award after the Saints won the game. You'll notice that I essentially flipped the sentence and put the dependent clause at the end of the sentence. When that happens, there's no need for a comma to separate the independent clause from the dependent clause. Let's look at some more examples. Class was canceled, period. I met a friend for lunch, period. There seems to be a cause and effect with this sentence, so I'm going to use the word because. Because class was canceled, comma, I met a friend for lunch, period. Because begins a dependent clause, and therefore I must use a comma to separate one clause from the other. I met a friend for lunch because class was canceled. In this instance, because is in the middle of the sentence, creating the dependent clause at the end of the sentence. I don't need a comma here. Remember, dependent clause, comma, independent clause, period. Independent clause, dependent clause, period. The final sentence variety is the compound complex sentence. This is a complex sentence with an added simple sentence. Example, because class was canceled, I met a friend for lunch, and we talked for hours. You'll notice that the complex sentence, because class was canceled, comma, I met a friend for lunch, and we talked for hours is a simple sentence. That's connected with the comma and the fanboy and, with the period at the end. This is an example of a compound complex sentence. In compound complex sentences, the complex sentence and the simple sentence can use coordinating conjunctions or conjunctive adverbs. Example, because class was canceled, comma, I met a friend for lunch, semicolon. Consequently, we talked for hours. You'll notice that the semicolon was added where the comma used to be. The conjunctive adverb consequently has been added, and the simple sentence is added to that. This is the end of the lecture on sentence type and variety.